Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I've been looking forward to this day for a really long time, pretty much ever since we bought this property, and it's good to see that all the work I've been doing over the last year and a half or so is going to pay off today. So we purchased this building back in April of 22, and it's now December of 22. It's finally here. We did have some delays attempting to get it delivered in December and November, part of November at least, due to the weather, and they would have a pretty tough time getting this building all the way back where it needed to go if the ground was not nice and solid. So come on along and we'll go through the process of driving this building onto the property, taking all the complicated turns that it needs to take, and setting it into place. So the very first thing to get into the property is to make a relatively sharp turn with trees on either side here. I tried to make this as easy as I could, and in hindsight I probably should have cut off this other branch that's in the middle of the screen right now, and you guys will see here in a moment why. But it didn't take them any more than about 10 minutes to make this happen, so not too big of a deal, especially with that trailer that they have being able to move laterally once they have it stopped. There is the problem branch, which I did not cut off. In hindsight, I should have done it. It wouldn't have really made much of a difference to that tree, but I was just trying to save as much of that oak as I could. However, it did cause a slight problem here and managed to actually damage that top corner of the building ever so slightly. It won't be anything too difficult to repair, but you know, I probably should have cut that off. So after a little bit of navigating back and forth, the crew was able to go ahead and get the truck positioned where it needed to be for final attempt onto the property. It still ended up hitting that branch ever so slightly, but at that point there weren't many options because you guys can see in the video the traffic started to back up here a little bit, and it did not, I'm sure they didn't want to hold up any of them on that road. So So now that the truck was finally on the property, we came up to the next turn that had to be navigated. This is about a 90-degree turn, and this cedar being in the way would have made that a little bit difficult. It was a nice healthy tree that I really wanted to keep, but unfortunately that ended up not being a choice. So normally the delivery company would have some equipment that they pre-positioned in order to help assist the truck and the trailer to move the building into the exact location where it needs to go. However, on this day they didn't have a boom lift available, but they did have a bulldozer, which ended up being the better choice because we ended up using the bulldozer to do some grading near the pad in order to decrease the incline. Otherwise the truck would have never made it all the way up. So here is the next turn that they had to manage, and that's about as far as the truck got on its own. So if I hadn't cut this cedar down, now it becomes really obvious why this would have been a pretty challenging thing to do. With the tree out of the way, it was pretty straightforward to just stop, swing the rear end of the trailer over, and then basically continue. Without it, I'm not sure how they would have done it, and if they had even attempted it, I think it would have caused a little bit of damage to the building. So the way that this trailer is set up is that they have an additional engine mounted on the trailer itself, which powers some hydraulics, and it uses the hydraulics to run some wheels that are in between the mains on the trailer, and basically they lift the trailer up, and they are able to move both left and right. So here we're just swinging the rear end of the building to the right, and once it's in place, those wheels are retracted up, and then the truck can basically drive forward. So here is the third turn that has to be navigated, and this one is also it's not quite 90 degrees, a little bit less than that. I wish I had my drone to be able to show you all this as they were bringing the building onto the pad, but unfortunately my drone battery ran out, so this is the best we have. I've got a stationary camera and a one that I just kind of keep mobile so that I can capture everything going on here. But Biggest issue here, we've got the power lines off to the left-hand side. There's a guy wire there that has to be kept in mind, and also you've got the two oaks here in the front. Now, when you actually stand there, it looks like there's tons of space, and there is, but not quite enough for something this large. So what they'll end up doing here is, once again, stopping the truck up as far forward as they can, and once they're there, they'll go ahead and swing the aft end of the building over using the hydraulics on the trailer. Camera angle here doesn't do it justice, but there was a little bit of a hump right there where they're using the bulldozer to clean it up a little bit, and the biggest reason for that was to just give the truck a nice straight path onto the pad area here. And the game plan here is basically to pull the truck up and then back the building into place onto the pad, which can be clearly seen here. And basically I'm just kind of helping the bulldozer out as he's doing some of the harder work there. I'm pushing everything out of the way to speed the process up, since I can be a little bit more of a perfectionist with the tractor than he can be with the bulldozer. But bulldozer was definitely needed here. There's no way I would have been able to push that rock up out of the ground. And later you'll see I ended up using all of this rock to build a nice little retaining wall right here. So they had really no issue trying to get up the hill with the truck there. Unfortunately, the trailer did end up stopping in a soft spot. This was the area that we had just bulldozed and tried to fill in the best we could, but there's a lot of big rocks in that location, and the dirt is, just kind of whatever you end up with, and it's not really ideal for something this heavy to be sitting on it. Fortunately, since we had the bulldozer, that's going to come in really handy here, because basically, as the hydraulics on the trailer here are attempting to move it laterally, they're going to assist with the bulldozer by lifting it up and pushing it in that same direction. Now, even that was kind of challenging, just because there's a lot of rocks there and the tires were getting stuck up on the rocks, but it really helped to have a machine this size to be able to assist. So once the building was up on the pad, it ended up being sandwiched in between these two branches at the rear end of the building and at the front end, ever so perfectly, to where they couldn't move forward and they couldn't move backwards. So it became a real just finesse operation here to ensure that we would not end up damaging it. But they did a fantastic job and made it happen without touching either one of these branches at all. With that, the building is in its final resting place. Overall, it was a great experience with the crew of 3 here working exceptionally well together to make this happen. For those of you who want additional information on who these guys are, they are United Shed Transport out of Covington, Texas, and I believe they do deliveries at least within a good distance of Covington, because this is in San Antonio, and they came out of Dallas that day. So if anyone needs a building delivered safely and placed where you want it to be, then these guys are the ones to call. Also, thanks to Bob from General Shelters, also here in San Antonio, Texas. He's right off of 281. I'll leave all the details in the description. He is the dealer for these buildings in the area here, and I couldn't be more thankful for everything we've been able to do here for the price that we paid. So if you guys are looking for something like this for your property, give them a call or pay them a visit. I'll leave all the details in the description. Okay, so for the inside of the building, some additional details. This is about 1,100 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. The kitchen area, the layout, that's the way we wanted it, and you have the ability to move that around in the living space as you want. It's got central AC and heating. Here's the master bedroom with the master bath, where we opted to have the shower pan instead of the tub. There's a closet, and you get the double windows here with a great view looking outside from the building pad. Once I get these trees cleared out a little bit more, that view is going to get even better. The water heater here is located in the closet. I'll probably end up covering that up. That's something you guys can tell them to move elsewhere in the design process. We also have the double entry doors here, which is not a standard option. That's an add-on. And the appliances. Some of them came with the building. Others I went ahead and purchased myself. Here's the second bedroom. This will be a good sized bedroom for probably a queen bed or a double bed, or maybe even 2 twin beds. We have the shared bathroom here with the bathtub and just standard fixtures. Everything is super nice and should last a very long time. And then finally, moving on to the third bedroom, we'll be turning this one into the kids' room with a bunk bed or something like that. But you've got a closet, great view, nice big windows, and it's off on one side of the building, so should be nice and quiet for anyone in the master bedroom. So overall, just a fantastic building, something completely different from your average mobile home that you might purchase for a little bit less. So, I think the slightly extra cost here is worth it. It looks great from the outside. It's great from the inside. As we start decorating it, it's going to look better and better. These are the double doors with the blinds in there, which is a must. So obviously without curtains there, it'd be hard to put them on, but there it is. So here's the crew just kind of putting the finishing touches on the building. It had to be set on the blocks. The blocks are sitting on top of some 16 by 16 inch fiberglass plates, and ultimately the building is going to get tied down to the ground via some straps that are going to be hammered into the ground to hold it in place. So very stable structure here on the pad that I built, and it should not have any issues as far as movement goes. For the remainder of this life of this building. The trailer here is being pulled out from underneath the building, and they're just using it as a kind of a jack to make minor adjustments, but they'll be able to collapse it all down and back it all up out of here. Well guys, thanks for joining me and watching this video. If anyone has any questions about this building or the process that isn't answered in the video, please feel free to message me or leave a comment, and I will take the time to reply to all of you. Also, once again, look for the description there with all the details on where I purchased the building, how I purchased it, approximate cost, and all of that stuff. So thanks once again.